Hey guys, it's Dustin from MyFreedomSmokes.com. Just doing a quick video today about a new starter kit that came to the market called the ecab by Joyetech. Let's go ahead and bust this thing open and we'll take a look at it here. Alright, so you can see it comes with a user manual. And this is kind of what it looks like. You know, if you're familiar with the different electronic cigarette models, this is kind of in between the 510 and the Ego in terms of size. It looks very similar to the 510, but it's just slightly bigger. It uses the tank system that's prevalent now with a lot of the Joyetech products. And it also has some cool new features that we'll kind of go over. But that's the actual electronic cigarette itself. And you'll notice there's only one in here, but that doesn't mean that you only have one cigarette, whereas the other starter kits you have two. I'll kind of go through the rest of the parts, and it'll make a lot more sense once we do that. So, but that's the cigarette itself. So we'll set that back here for now, and then we'll crack open the rest of the box here, and we'll take a look. Alright, so first thing, we have a couple of cartridges over here on the side. We'll just set those to the side right now. And this is something neat, something I've never seen Joyetech do before. They actually included soft gaskets, which are just like a softer silicone gasket to put on the end of the cartridges. These tend to provide a little bit better seal around the spike on the atomizer for the tank style systems. So I've never seen Joyetech do that before, but they come with these starter kits. There's two of them in here. You have a couple of atomizers. These are what we call atomizer heads. These are actually the same atomizer heads that are in the Ego C model of electronic cigarettes. So they're very prevalent. They're already out on the market, easy to find, fairly cheap in terms of or in relation to other atomizers out there. It's a lot cheaper to just replace this little atomizer head than it is to replace an entire atomizer assembly. Now, as for the batteries, like I said, most starter kits you get two batteries, two atomizers, that type of thing. Same thing here. You have two atomizer heads. You also have two batteries. Oh, I just dumped them out. Two batteries. So they're 10440 batteries made by Joyetech. These are the same batteries that they use in their 510 pass-throughs. So it's once again, it's a product that's already out there on the market, readily available, fairly cheap. Rather than paying $15 for a battery, you can get these guys a lot cheaper. So you'll see these out there. So this will be with them setting up the kit or designing this model this way. This is going to be really cheap to use and maintain over the long run. So this is going to be a lot cheaper than like the 510 or the Ego models that are out there on the market, just because all of the parts are a lot cheaper, or the parts that you have to replace on a regular basis are a lot cheaper and already out there on the market. So let's set these batteries down here and let's take a look at the charger equipment here. Alright, so we have this is kind of a neat little charger. You can kind of see how this works. You just basically stick the batteries down in here, and you can charge both batteries at one time, which is pretty awesome. It's something that you aren't able to do with a 510 or an Ego kit. But with those kits, you have to unscrew the battery from the atomizer and then screw the battery onto a little wire charger. So you can charge it up, so you can't use it while it's charging. But this one you can charge both batteries at once, or you can just charge one at a time and use one while you're charging the other. You see the little USB cables kind of built right here in the back. So this is a neat little design for a charger here. Then we also have the AC adapter here, which is just your standard Joyetech AC adapter. It's just an AC plug with a USB port on the other side, so you can just take this little charger and pull out that USB plug and then plug it directly in here, so you can charge it up using an AC plug on your wall at home. So let's stick this back in. Alright, so let's go ahead and start putting the cigarette together here. We'll just take one of the batteries. Now this is the stainless steel version. This also comes in black. Alright, so to put the battery in, there's a little cap here on the end. You just pull that out and stick the battery in, and you can see it's got little holes right there, and these little dots on the side, those match up with those holes, so that locks it in place so it doesn't slide around. And you see it blinked whenever I put that battery in. That means that it is in and it's ready to roll. But we have to put the atomizer in first and fill up the cartridge, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. If you just unscrew this little cone here, you'll see there's not a base like you would see on the Ego C, which it kind of uses these same atomizers. Instead, they just built the base right in. You actually these little atomizer heads, and pull one out here, and I'll show you kind of where it fits. It actually just sits right on top here. So that's pretty neat how they design that. And then you just screw this. Actually, just take the cartridge out here. Screw this right down on top. Well, actually, before let me screw that on, let me kind of show you what this looks like. This is just a straight through design. So you have this little little spike here in the center with a wick in the middle of it, and that's where the e-liquid will actually wick down to the coil, which is in that little atomizer head. And then once you screw this on, if you take a look down inside of it, you can see where that spike, it actually just sticks straight up right in the middle there, and that'll actually puncture the cartridge and wick that e-liquid down to the coils for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and take one of these cartridges here. Now this is the cartridge that was in it. What I'll do is I'll just pop this little cap off if I can. Alright, so I got the cap off here, and then we'll fill it up with some e-liquid. Very simple. Just drip it straight in the end here. Now these will hold a little over 1 milliliter of liquid. If you fill them all the way up, I'm not going to fill this one all the way up. I'll get it up here. Oh, it's almost full. So you just fill up the cartridge there, and you'll see this cartridge kind of is shaped a little funny. You can see it better on a different background. It's got this little ledge right here, which is where the air will actually flow around the liquid whenever you're inhaling. It'll flow back around the cartridge and through there to the mouthpiece for you to inhale. So you can see it's kind of a funny shape. It's a little different shape than the Ego T or Ego C atomizer. So these end caps are going to be funny shaped as well. So you have to put that back on there the right way. You just snap it back down. There we go. Alright, so now it's on there and it's sealed, it's good to go. Alright, so now we want to insert this cartridge down into the e-cig, and whenever I push it down in there I always rotate it just a little bit. It doesn't really matter for this model because those holes are already pre-drilled out. So, but there it is. It's all put together and it's ready to use. So something really important though, you always need to prime the atomizer before you start using it. So rather than, I know how it is when you get a brand new starter kit, you want to put it together and start vaping on it right away. It's really important that you prime the atomizer, because if you don't, it's very easy to burn up the atomizer and then all of a sudden you've got a kit that you can't use. So prime the atomizer. To do that, all you want to do is just take and just puff and blow through the cartridge while it's in the atomizer, just to get that e-liquid started running down in there. Get rid of any air bubbles that are in there, and just make sure that you have a good flow of the e-liquid. So let me do that real quick. And you'll see now, you can see the liquid's going down a little bit, and you could hear it start to gurgle a little bit. That tells me that I've got the juice down in there, I've got a good flow. That gurgle is exactly what you want to hear. So, alright, let's go ahead and give it a shot and see how it works. Yeah. Works pretty good. I know you guys can't see that because I'm behind the camera here, but yeah, it works great. To me, it works just as good as any Ego battery that I've used. So it's only rated at 340 mAh, so it's not quite as big as an Ego battery. Actually, it looks like I puff and blowed on it a little too much, and I puffed the liquid right out of it. So let me wipe that off real quick. I mean, yeah, I mean, even that first hit, usually the first hit you don't get much flavor. Even that first hit, I got tons of flavor. Got a little vapor coming out, and as you continue to use it, you know, that'll only get better. But it's very simple to use. You just simply press that button and then draw on it, and then let go whenever you're done. So, but that's it. That's the ecab. That's the newest model from Joyetech. You know, Joyetech is the industry standard whenever it comes to e-cigs. You know, they're known for their high quality, their reliability, their durability. I mean, they are, you know, in my opinion, the best manufacturer out there for electronic cigarettes. So, and this is their newest model, and I must say it's definitely a winner in my book. Thanks, guys.